The new Taipan linear fusion rifle that arrived this season is one of the best linear fusion rifles we have ever seen. And if that isn't enough, one of its most prominent merits, in addition to its top chart DPS, is that it's incredibly easy to get as a solo player. Today I am going to tell you exactly how to get it, show you the perfect god roll that you want to have, see how it stacks up against other options, and show you a few ways to increase the damage of this weapon even further. This video has labeled chapters as well, so feel free to use the time scrubber to skip around if a particular section isn't relevant to you, or just sit back and relax. You work hard and you deserve a little kickback time. Also, make sure to subscribe. Actually, hold up, I haven't earned that yet, have I? I'll ask later once I've given you what you came here for and I'm more deserving of your click. Instead, let's get started with weapon acquisition. Step 1 is heading to the Enclave, where you'll pick up the prerequisite quest from the left side of the crafting table, instructing you to attune a new deep sight seasonal auto rifle, as well as completing a playlist activity with it equipped. So load up a strike, PvP, or gambit match to swiftly complete both steps, rewarding you with another copy of the auto rifle and instructing you to attune and extract that one as well. After completing this quest, you'll be instructed to return to the crafting table, where you will be met with a quest with identical steps as the previous one, with the exception of needing to do a Dares of Eternity or Wellspring run instead of playlist activities with the new Taipan linear fusion rifle. Repeat the same steps that you did for the auto rifle, and you'll be ready to craft this bad boy at the center console of the crafting table. Now, before I show you how it stacks up against other top DPS options, let me show you the perfect roll that you'll want to craft for this linear. To do that, we will need to level it up. The absolute fastest way to do this is to go to the Shuro Chi encounter in the Last Wish raid on a hunter with the Deadfall Tether super. You most likely don't have a Shuro Chi checkpoint on hand though, so you'll need to head up to the wish wall by following the path shown in the video and input the code on screen now to teleport directly to the Shuro Chi encounter. You could also snag the checkpoint from one of Luxstruck's checkpoint holding robot accounts by using the join code on screen now, which is also linked in the description. Simply join up, wipe once, and then leave before relaunching into the raid by yourself to create your own checkpoint instance. Once there, begin the encounter by running past the thrall and sticking your tether to the pillar in the center of the room. Then stick your back to the pillar, preventing Shuro Chi from being able to hit you. Killing one thrall with the linear will detonate any other thrall connected by the tether, and though they are killed by the tether, they still count as progress towards leveling the weapon. Once the next wave spawns, you can head back to the stairs to use as a head glitch and fire off the rest of your ammo before dying. This should net you about 50 to 60% of a level every run, with each run taking about 45 seconds. Then simply drop a rally flag, refill on super and heavy, and repeat until your gun is level 20. It's not particularly exciting, but it is by far the fastest method to level this thing up. This will allow you to unlock any perk on the weapon and masterwork it. My recommended setup is a reload speed masterwork along with fluted barrel, liquid coils, enhanced triple tap, and enhanced firing line. If you can't afford the enhanced perks, the regular versions will do perfectly fine. Now, before moving on to the DPS tests and secret methods for dealing even more damage, do me a favor and hit those like and subscribe buttons down below if this video has been helpful so far. Once that is taken care of, we can answer that pressing question: how does this thing stack up in the damage department against other heavy hitters? Well, the two main ones to look out for are the Cataclysmic Solar Linear Fusion Rifle from Vow of the Disciple with 4th times the charm and bait and switch, and the Storm Chaser Arc Linear Fusion Rifle from the Duality Dungeon with rapid hit and firing line. The problem with both of these linear fusion rifles, however, is that they are significantly harder to acquire than the Taipan. To acquire the perfect Cataclysmic roll, you need to either get lucky with drops in the raid or obtain and attune 5 red border drops acquired from the final raid chest once per week over the span of 5 weeks. To acquire the perfect Storm Chaser roll, you need to spam the Duality Dungeon and pray that RNG is in your favor. Both of these methods require encounter knowledge, mechanical skill, and a fire team, whereas the perfect taipan is acquirable solo and without any difficulty whatsoever. But how does it stack up against these two linears? Well, against the Templar boss, while in a Well of Radiance with linear fusion rifle reserves and linear fusion rifle loader, the taipan was hitting for 67,000 damage per shot, exiting the DPS phase with a total of 2 million damage from 30 shots over 36 seconds. The Storm Chaser, under the same conditions, was hitting for 93,000 damage per burst, exiting the DPS phase with a total of 2 million damage from 21 shots over the same 36 seconds. And finally, the Cataclysmic, under the same conditions, was hitting for 71,400 damage per shot, exiting the DPS phase with a total of 2 million damage from 28 shots over the same 36 seconds. Now you might be thinking, well, Mac, it just matches the damage of the other two. That's not particularly exciting. And you're right, but there is more to this linear fusion rifle than meets the eye. Check this out. First and foremost, if you're more of a solo player, getting a craftable weapon that requires a bare minimum of 5 raids, or that perfect RNG roll that could take 50 plus runs, is a pipe dream. The taipan is a significantly more feasible goal for a large portion of the Destiny populace. But even if you are someone who can get their hands on the Godroll Cataclysmic or Storm Chaser, the taipan can still have its merits. You see, with the taipan being a void weapon, it can synergize incredibly well with the Reaping Wellmaker and Font of Might mods. Reaping Wellmaker creates a void elemental well on your next weapon final blow after activating your class ability, while Font of Might grants a 25% damage buff to weapon damage, matching your subclass type when picking up an elemental well that also matches your subclass type. So if we are on a void subclass and pick up a void elemental well, all of our void weapons will receive a 25% damage buff for 10 seconds. This would theoretically increase the first 10 seconds of our taipan damage phase by 25%, taking our total damage from 2 million to approximately 2.6 million. Considering that Hunter Mobius Quiver, Titan Ward of Dawn, and Warlock Nova Bomb are some of the premier raid boss DPS loadouts, this is an extremely common situation. Now, don't get me wrong, you could make the same Font of Might argument for Cataclysmic by pairing Solar Elemental Wells with Solar subclasses like Warlock Well of Radiance and Hunter Blade Barrage, or for Storm Chaser with Arc Elemental Wells and Arc subclasses like Titan Thundercrash or Hunter Gathering Storm. But it's significantly harder to create elemental wells for these, as your options are typically limited to mods like Melee Wellmaker and Elemental Ordnance, requiring your melee or grenade to be up, whereas Reaping Wellmaker, which only creates void wells, will proc on any weapon kill after activating a class ability. So is the taipan the absolute top dog in all circumstances? Not necessarily, but when you consider its high damage profile, strong mod combination pairings, and ease of acquisition, it's incredibly difficult to ignore this weapon. Hopefully as difficult as it is to ignore those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.